Hello, tax people. So, I have a video and I talk about how taxes are prepared all year. And I had somebody to reach out. Thank you, by the way. Remember, if you like anything or anything that is given on the channel is beneficial, please make sure you reach out, that you subscribe, that you leave a comment, that you like it, and let me know if it's beneficial. One of the things I do not like to do is I don't like to hype people up. That's another video. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I had someone reach out and ask me, hey, explain what you mean by taxes are prepared all year. And basically, one thing that a lot of people ask me is that they say, well, people always come and say crazy stuff like, what is it that rich people know that poor people don't? One of the things is that, wealthy people look at their money. They look at their money all the time. They watch their money. They know exactly where things are spent. They are doing bank reconciliations. They are closing their books. Even if they're not, sometimes people are wealthy and they have businesses, and some people do investments. But whatever their money is and wherever the money is going, they're looking at it all the time. By all the time, let me just say this. If you have any type of bank account, if you make any money, you deposit money, we all do. You should check your bank account at least 3 times a week, 3 to 4. You want to make sure that there's no fraud, that you catch activity on it before it becomes a problem. If it's $1, remember, people that specialize in fraud, they will try with a small amount to see if it's noticed, and then if you don't say anything, they'll start out with other amounts. They'll clean the account out. Not only that, you want to make sure that you're watching. If you pay bills, let's just say, I don't care what the bill is, you want to make sure you have an idea of when that bill will post. A lot of people mess up and get frustrated with bank accounts because they don't understand the difference between something pending and something posted. And if something is pending on your account, that means that it has, that you've run your card or you use your debit card and they have captured or put a hold on your money saying this is going to come out. And right then, when it is pending at the time, what they call POS, point of sale, at the time of your transaction, the money is there. Now, that means, hey, you're somewhere, you're making a purchase or paying a bill, and they capture that money. On the other hand, that merchant, whoever the merchant may be, let me use an example. Let's say you're buying a t-shirt from my t-shirt company, and I run the credit card, and so right now I've captured $20 for my t-shirt. Now, if I don't go and finish the transaction on the other end, or I get busy and I make the deposits later, depending on your bank, the pending transaction may hold 24 hours or sometimes as long as 3 days. After that, it will fall off until I actually make the deposit. So you may see the transaction go through, then the money goes back in account, and you may not know what's going on, and then it comes back out. At that point, you've already counted on the money in the bank, and so now you draw or you get NSF fees. So understand there's a difference between whatever is pending and what's posting. And you remember back in the day, you used to have a check register. Well, now that we use debit cards more, you don't write down transactions because you think, oh, I can see it. Oh, I remember. Those little bitty things throw people off. They throw your account into the negative. You would be surprised how many people get frustrated by it. And so as a result, they get fed up with the bank account altogether, and they just start using cash or prepaid cards and all of those things. Whatever you use, whatever your method is, you have to monitor your money and you have to watch it. We tend to pay bills based on when we get paid. So you'll make arrangements. Even if you don't make arrangements, you will make a plan in your head to say, I get paid this time, I'm going to pay these 2 bills, the next time the other 2. You need to make a plan. You need to make sure you follow the plan and then follow through to make sure whatever you decided to pay is actually paid. So, the other part is that while you may, for those that have prepaid cards, if they have statements, you want to make sure you get a statement every month and you keep up with that statement. If you have a business and you're one of those people who still use a Schedule C, which has now become a Schedule 1, you want to make sure that every month you take time to highlight the expenses that really are business expenses in one color and highlight the rest of them in another color. That's what I mean by taxes are done all year. Every month, you should be reviewing your information. Every month, you should be watching. You should know where you are every month. How much did I spend that month? Why did I spend that? Did I really spend that much money on gas? Where was I going? Are you kidding me? I really bought that much makeup? Before COVID, I know when we looked at how much we were eating out, sometimes it was like, oh my gosh, we need to cook. And sometimes we would buy groceries, have groceries, and still eat out. So when I say that taxes are done all year, you need to really understand what's going on. If you're working on a job and you get a W-2 or you look at your pay stub, you ought to look at your pay stub and you need to know that whatever you're making, your gross income, that it is going to be that you are having 10% taken out for taxes. So in other words, if you're bringing home and your check is like $1,000, $2,000, you want to make sure that at least $100 is coming out as it relates to taxes. So just so you can be careful, the general rule is 10%. Now with the new W-4, things are changing, and so you have to be careful because they don't take out as much money, and depending on how you do your taxes, it could come back to bite you at the end. So once again, you need to look once a month. Find a time in a month that you will sit, look at things, that you will plan, that you will make concessions, that you will think about what's going on with your money. If you're a 1099 employee and like a gig job, like I don't think Uber and Lyft and some of those other gig jobs that they actually take taxes out. Well, look at what you're making. Evaluate. Get with a tax professional, a bookkeeper, and say, hey, can you keep up? Do you know how much I'm going to have to pay? When we do your taxes, it's not like we just say, you know what? I'm going to charge this person over here. I'm going to make sure they get this much back. I'm going to do this one. There is a tax table. It is a federal document. It is free. Anybody can look at a tax table. So you know that we're just not making these things up. But when people look and they want to get the biggest refund and you start playing, you think, oh, this is so easy. If you want to make sure that you are not leaving money on the table, that you're getting the maximum return or refund, do your part. Make sure that you invest and that you're looking at your money all year. That's a secret, if you want to call it a secret, that wealthy people know and do that other people don't. Sometimes when you don't have money, you find yourself running from it. You don't want to talk about it. But I told you before, I have another video where I talk about we have to talk about money. If you can't talk about it, if you can't sit and plan, if you don't have the patience to look at it and budget it, you're not ready to make it. Money is a defense. That's what the Bible says. It gives you options. It provides and it helps. I'm not telling you to worship it, but you have to understand it if you want to make it, and you've got to manage it if you want to keep it. It's been your girl, the Queen Bee of Doing Business Better, talking all things taxes, all things money, and all things dollars. I hope I answered your question. You need to look at your money. You need to have bookkeeping. That's what bookkeeping does. We'll talk about that more on the next video. Bye-bye.